What time is it? Good afternoon, everybody. This is Doggie, and this is going to be a little out of the ordinary. It's 4 o'clock, so I gotta do this in under 30 minutes. This was supposed to be on my new channel, but I stupidly forgotten that I'm supposed to have 50 subscribers in order to stream live. Of course, I forgot that stuff. I mean, I've been here how many years now? I take everything for granted. But anyways, there's something. Oh, backtrack. On my new channel, I wanted to just cover different things. Not like a political type of channel, but whatever comes to my mind. It could be games, it could be what's going on in the world, anything. I haven't thought about it yet because there's too much going on over here. But anyways, this is the first thing I wanted to cover. And I have to do it here until I get 50 subscribers on my other channel. The topic is... Oh, wait, before I say what it is, some of you may know that I am currently unemployed. It's been a month and I'm going crazy a little bit. I'm hating it. And not only am I unemployed, I'm not receiving benefits at all. So nobody can call me lazy. But, you know, if you're gonna get fired, I think you should get some kind of safety net for work, because it's just too much waiting time between not leaving your job and getting a new one. It might be at least a month. It could be more than that. And then there's bills to pay, so your anxiety is creeping up on you. Anyways, this is what I want to talk about. Because I am unemployed. You know, first thing I thought, get some unemployment money, you thought. But turns out, because I was fired, this is my first time firing y'all. I didn't even think this was gonna happen. Because I was fired, I was disqualified for unemployment. So why is that? Well, I live in Michigan, United States. So we have a so-called Michigan Employment Security Act. And there's a section 29, 1 verse 1b, A and B actually. Well, specifically in my case, it's section 29b. I probably said that wrong. Oh, hi. I can see the chat. I can see the chat when when the phone is vertical. Hello there. Do I play blocks flute? What's my favorite color? It's blue. Hi. Okay, listen. I'm gonna do this real quickly now. So I'm gonna talk about the Michigan Unemployment. Well, MES is Michigan Employment Security Act, and why am I receiving employment? So I'm gonna just read this notice of determination here. I'm gonna redact some things for private reasons. I said blue. What color is it? Blue. I said blue. Anyways, okay, so I'm just gonna read this. Eligibility for unemployment benefits, aka disqualified. And then there's a date, of course, and then there's the social security number. I'm not going to say all that, of course not. And then there's my employer, of course. And then the issue is quote unquote misconduct, which kind of rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I just said it was blue. My favorite color is blue. Okay, anyways. Maybe it's more... Yes. Why wouldn't it be? I said blue. Anyways. Okay, blue and red and green. Me too, man. Me too. I still put like and rock in my team. Anyways, okay. What was I saying? Oh, eligibility for unemployment benefits issue is misconduct, which I think rubs me the wrong way, because when I think misconduct, I'm thinking I'm having trouble with the management, or I had issues on the site. But misconduct, they quote misconduct because it's a policy violation. Basically, it was what was it? it was attendance. So that's the policy violation there, is attendance. So, I had a company where if you get your unexcused absences counted, and then you reach your final, and after your final you're terminated. So despite all that, I had a consistent schedule. I go to work often, and there was a case in where, okay, at work, in this case, my health has been acting funny. I had trouble. I probably said this a few times. Maybe not. I don't know if it was online or it was in the post, the community post, but I had trouble at work, like breathing and exerting myself, just a little amount of movement. And I used to do stocking, where I had to move a lot. Even walking was kind of painful. So there would be cases where I would call off from work, like maybe once a month, once or twice a month, maybe. It depends on how bad it is. And it was potentially anemia. And I haven't seen a doctor. I could not. I likely will see one in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I know. So hopefully we'll figure that out. I hope if it's just anemia, then that can be, remedied. Hopefully it's not extremely bad, like, heart condition. Well, I'm in big trouble. But so these call offs require doctor's note, of course. So that's something I lacked. Now I had one doctor's note from urgent care, but that's the only time I went. And I even went to I even went to urgent care when I had COVID a couple times. But yeah, since last year, I've been calling off when, my health got really bad, like to a point where I couldn't move well or I couldn't breathe well. So I would just stay home and lay down. And that did not help until I think the only time I actually noticed like a bit of recovery is when I started taking vitamins like magnesium, iron. That's like the only time I actually was able to bear it a little bit. I mean, I would go to the bus stop walking. It would feel terrible. My legs were heavy, and I was wondering what is going on here. Yeah, it was bad. So, due to all of that, due to me calling off, despite, having good relationship with the company, I got terminated last June. And of course, I filed for unemployment and, did all the right procedures. And then what was it, the Michigan Unemployment Agency, just for lack of a better word, told me I was disqualified. And I'm just going to read what it says here, and then I'm going to read what the Employment Security Act says, because it's just crazy. Or maybe this just, yeah, there's something in the bottom of this determination statement that just drives me crazy, and I don't understand it. Okay, here's what it says. Issues and sections of Michigan Employment Security MES Act involve misconduct, and Section 29 1B. You were fired from redacted on June 26th, 2025 for excessive attendance violations, which, I would assume would be consecutive, and my call-offs were not consecutive. I know employees who call off consecutively, or they just don't come in at all without saying anything. They would have got fired on the spot. Minecraft magic. Hello. Anyways, disciplinary action has been initiated prior to your being fired. I think that means the manager spoke to me about that, which she did. Your last offense was due to a personal illness over which you had no control. Right. Although you notified your employer, you did not deliver the required medical documentation to excuse your absence. Right. Misconduct in connection with work has been established. I guess this is just what would you say, a standard? I guess they wouldn't be able to explain it. I mean, I'm supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to, if I'm calling off for a reason, I'm supposed to explain why I'm supposed to give up, documentation. But, I guess I didn't do that. You are disqualified from benefits under MES Act Section 29 1B. Now, here's the crazy part. This is the silly part. Rework. REWORK. Rework begins with week ending July 5th, 2025. You will not receive benefits until you satisfy the rework requirement. So, what's a rework requirement? That means claimant is disqualified until completion of a. Here we go. Well, I'm just going to round it up, round it down. So, I'm just going to say $6,000. Earnings rework requirement which has not been satisfied. If applicable, principal and penalty amounts are shown on Form UIA, that's unemployment agency, 1301, weeks of overpayments. If you disagree with this determination, you refer to protest rights. Protest rights on the reverse side of this form. The protest must be received no later than 8/18. Yeah, and this talks about the penalties and the protest rights. Now, I don't know if anyone noticed. I know this is different in each state, but when you log in or apply for employment benefits, you have to certify and tell the state or the agency that you are looking for work. Not state, not there's actually YouTube videos on this. Even from the news and from YouTubers, they say you have to write down where you've been applying to, which I've been doing, which annoys me because I'm applying everywhere and I'm doing the certification. I'm telling the agency where I'm applying and I still get disqualified. They're not budging. So this rework thing, this is the crazy part. Rework basically means I have to go back to work, and I have to earn $6,000 in order to be qualified for any sort of UIV benefits. But I'm having a hell of a time to get any kind of work because I'm fired. So this is just $6,000. So, you know, you can barely make $2,000 a month, right? Can you? Well, maybe $1,600. At least in my case, I don't think I've ever made that much. I don't think I've ever made $2,000 in a month. Well, yeah. No. I don't even think 2,000. So, yeah. I don't know. I try to protest, but I don't know how that's working out. They're taking a heck of a time to look into that. So, I'm going to look into what is the Michigan Employment Security Act, 29 1B. What the law says. So this is from the actual Michigan government site. This is from Michigan.gov. Yeah, thanks. I have a community tab. Check the community tab. I got a second channel. If you like to go there, go right ahead. I'll be doing these more. And oh yeah, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I'm irritated. I'm trying not to stay on the low end of things, but I don't like where I am at the moment. So, and I have to be hush hush. I don't know what Grow a Garden is. No, I don't play Grow a Garden. I don't play a lot of Sims lately. I do play war simulators, like Nobunaga's Ambition. I do play that. Just recently, I did a siege battle. I didn't think it would be so stressful, but it was crazy. But anyways, okay, so the discharge for misconduct firing, the law says this issue is covered by Section 291B of the Michigan Employment Security Act. Okay, it's almost 50 minutes. Actually, I got lunch. Okay, I'll read a little bit. Okay, the act provides that if a worker is fired from a job due to misconduct that occurred in connection with the work, then the worker will be disqualified, which would happen to me, from benefits. The worker must then get another job and have earnings with that employer to re-qualify for benefits. But you're going to have a harder time getting another job when you're fired. Because if I say, why was I terminated for my absence? That's kind of sus, right? kind of sussy, doggy. I don't know, but the employer from whom the worker was fired will not be charged for the benefits, even if the worker requalifies and draws benefits. Okay. Well, I didn't expect him to. What the court cases have said. Unemployment compensation cases said that to be misconduct, the actions by the worker must be harmful to the interests of the employer, which I could probably understand if, because there be days when nobody's there, or not nobody, like a gap in the schedule, typical stuff, not coming in, and things are piling up, work's piling up. Okay, fine. So must be harmful to the interest of the employer, must be done intentionally or in disregard of the employer's interests. Well, that seems kind of horrible, doesn't it? But anyways, actions that are grossly negligent will also be considered misconduct. When I think negligence, I think like health hazards, something like that. Maybe too much call-offs. Like I said, consecutive calls, which I don't do. I think maybe very, very rarely. But very, very rarely. Like I probably had a couple day off at one point. But yeah, but not regularly. But actions that I just read that. A single incident of misconduct or of gross negligence may be enough to disqualify a worker from unemployment benefits. What about fighting with the customers or with the management? That can be the misconduct too. A worker or walking off, Worker who commits many infractions may be disqualified. Is that MANY? Is that quote many? Just having some absences. This year alone, it could have been maybe three. Maybe three call-offs. And they're spread apart. Uh-oh. That's the puppy. Oh no, what's wrong? I got a doggy here. It's my sibling's dog. He's Really? A worker who commits many infractions. I don't know if you had to go to the bathroom. Bubba! Bubba, what's wrong? Oh, he has a cone on his head. He had surgery. There we go, buddy. You just want to say hello? Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm reading something. Okay. He's so spoiled. Where was I? Commits many infractions may be disqualified, even if none of the infractions alone would be misconduct resulting in disqualification. However, the final incident in a series for which the worker is fired must itself show an intentional disregard of the employee's interests. This is sounding worse. This is sounding more worse than the more I read it. However, the actions by the worker show merely inability to do the job correctly or show an isolated case of bad judgment or negligence, then the worker will not be disqualified. Yeah, it's not inability, definitely not. I had the ability, just that the ability to do it has caused my health to act up. I mean, I was kind of scared. There'd be cases where I feel like I'm getting a heart attack, really. And there was also cases where my vision would like dim and kind of like when you get a heat stroke, that kind of thing. But let's see, where am I? So yeah, then the worker will not be disqualified from receiving unemployment benefits. Isolated case of bad judgment. Okay, isolated case. This does not necessarily mean the employer did not have a good reason to fire the workers. The more I read this, the more I feel like the company kind of screwed me a little bit. Acts committed by the worker that have no connection with the work will not result in disqualification if the employer fires the worker for them. Thing is, I can only do this in the morning, like Monday through Thursday, because there's a doofus in the room next to me, and he's loud. And and because the walls are hollow, you're gonna hear him. So I can't do this on the weekend. Now tomorrow, if direct, I might be okay in the morning, but I have to be hush hush. Oh, he's so noisy. What is he? That's the dog, by the way. What is wrong with him? I wonder if he smells my food. Okay, committed by the worker and have no connections with the work. Examples: if a worker is consistently absent or tardy from work without justifiable excuse, the worker could be disqualified from receiving benefits. I feel like there's nothing else for me to read. The worker is discharged based on an arrest or occurring on the worker's own time and not connected with the job, then the worker will not be disqualified. You know, felons have enough trouble trying to get work, or maybe they have a better chance of getting work. I don't know, because I think in Michigan there is, I don't know if it was passed or not. Is something I can't remember, but something like cut the box, like cut the felony box when they ask you where, but they still ask you anyway. So I guess it's not true. They wanted, I think some representatives, they want the felony question removed, like were you charged with something, that type of thing. But no, they still ask you because you still need a background check for some of these jobs, if not most of them. The baby is barking too much. Okay, occur in the worker's own time and not connected with a job. So you could, beat up your girlfriend, boyfriend, and get arrested at your job, and there's no question, and you're not disqualified. They can cut you off from the job, but you're not disqualified. But you're disqualified for having some absences. Man, this is kind of burning me up a little bit. If a worker is just discharged for being unable to meet production quotas, but is otherwise a cooperative worker, the worker will probably not be disqualified from receiving unemployment benefits. So, if you're kind of slow, or you're not really a good worker, you won't get disqualified. Well, I'm not saying you should. I'm just making comparison. I don't know, I'm kind of getting upset because I would consider myself a good worker. A little sluggish, but that's only because I'm meticulous. Like, I don't want to mess up. Or I feel like I gotta go over something. I'm like the type of person who like double soaps things, yeah, if that makes sense. All right, proof of the hearing. If either the employer or the unemployed worker appeals the case to an administrative law judge, then the employer must prove that the worker engaged in misconduct and that the misconduct occurred in connection with the work. Except in the most serious offenses, the employer must also prove that the worker was aware of the employer's work rules and that the actions of the worker was harmful to the employer. The statement at the hearing by either party is a form of proof. A statement at the hearing by either party is a form of proof. The statement at the hearing of witnesses may also be helpful in proving a case since they give added weight to the statements of the worker or employee. It's not even that serious to go to court for. The documents supported by testimony at the hearing may also be used as proof. Okay, if I even take that to court, I guess it would not go in my favor because it would be on paper that I even have the dates on when I was off last year because my manager told me. So they'll have that in writing it as data. So I can't imagine. What is that boy doing? That Bubba. I better go ahead and eat. All right, so that's my issue at the moment. It's ridiculous. Discharge for misconduct. That was the Michigan Employment Security Act, Section 291B. Firing. And I'm not sure what to do yet. I am trying my best to throw my resume out there. I'm not much of anything because I do small jobs and I used to work at a factory. I often wonder if I screwed myself up in terms of physical wise. Like did I like hurt myself? And I used to like, when I used to work at a factory, I used to pick up like packages, maybe 30, 40 pounds. And when I look at these jobs and I see things that says 50 pounds with both hands, while it's possible, like a box of chicken, raw chicken, it kind of makes me nervous when I read the description. But I kind of wonder if I screwed myself somewhere. Like, did I tear something, or am I leaking somewhere, or do I need to work out some more? I don't know. It's a thought. Maybe I should do more yoga. Yeah, more push-ups, more sit-ups. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyways, that's episode 0. It's not code gas. This is just me talking about things all by myself. Now, it's probably like the most bootlegged podcast ever, because I'm by myself. This is probably not, well, what's the word? Like, this is probably not a good means of applying a podcast. Like, you need a host, a co-host, a script writer, maybe. I don't jot down ideas. So I'm probably not doing the right thing. But this is a start. And I didn't want to do it here, but I'm gonna have to until I get 50 subscribers on the other channel, or until I also need to, get better adjusted. Because, like I said, there's only certain times that I can do something like this. So that's all for now. Oh, I wanted to talk about the U.S. Constitution. Yeah, I'll keep that. Let me take a note of that so I don't forget. All right, that's all for now. Bye-bye.